In all my years doing this, I've always looked at the football season no differently than a player would look at it. It's a long, hard grind. It starts off with baseball still in full swing. Then you have that studying and that intense focus that you've got to give to the college teams early in the year when you really don't know what to expect. And then just when you're getting your groove, when college and the NFL starts to get easy, suddenly there comes the NBA and college basketball, and you have all the seasons overlapping, which makes it a 17-day-a-week job. And here, suddenly, you get to the end of the season, and you're going, my God, where did the last 6 months go? Think about it, guys. This season that ends tonight with Alabama taking on Clemson started on a hot, humid day for most of us, the final weekend in August. Here it is concluding on a frigid day for most of us, almost the middle of January. And the Super Bowl's still another 3.5 weeks away. It is a long grind, but listen, I've got your complimentary play coming up on the total tonight. Will it be another high-scoring affair like last year's showdown between Ohio State and Oregon? Well, I'll tell you about it in just a moment, plus a little Jeopardy information for those of you out there that want to try your luck on the nation's #1 game show. I'm going to put you in the position to win just in case anybody's going to ask you about how many times Derrick Henry has run the ball this year for the Crimson Tide. Let's talk about yesterday's games. I've got nothing to say about yesterday's games. I continued my own personal roller coaster, winning one day, losing the next, coming off the 2-0 sweep on Saturday when I cashed in easily with the Chiefs and also scored in college basketball with Marshall, with losing yesterday on the Redskins and negating the loss a little bit with a smaller play on Villanova, getting the 1-point cover. I'll tell you what, I used the Redskins twice this season, and both times Deshaun Jackson, I can't say that word. He screwed me. How's that? We'll be politically correct. We'll be PG-oriented, just in case children are watching today, which I highly doubt. But Deshaun Jackson, seriously, and I should have known better. I mean, listen, I've been a lifelong Eagles fan. I saw him do it as a rookie. Remember when he dropped the ball before actually getting into the end zone against Dallas? Well, the very next play, the Eagles managed to score. Yesterday, instead of having a 9-0 lead, it was a 5-0 lead because the Redskins were unable to get in for the touchdown, had to settle for a field goal. So who knows how that game, the momentum would have turned out if when the Redskins were leading that game convincingly, at least early in the second quarter, if they had that touchdown on the board instead of the field goal. And then Jackson disappeared from the offense the rest of the game. He only had 2 catches in the contest. Then again, how many times is Kirk Cousins going to target a yo-yo who can't manage to bull his way into the end zone playing tippy-toe? And isn't it kind of ironic? Because the knock on Jackson when he was with the Eagles is that this is a guy who was frail, who was afraid to go all over the middle sometimes, absorbs the big hit, but doesn't really like to take them. And yesterday, he was I can't use that word that starts with a P either. He was a wimp when he could have gotten into the end zone and bulled his way in. No more Washington Redskins plays. That's it. Thank God the season is over. Next year, I may not even bet on the Redskins or use them again, just because Deshaun Jackson's still going to be on the team. Listen, some guys did have good days yesterday, and let's talk about the big featured play today. And also I have a little bit of news for you. Listen, Trace Adams, he has made $1 bettors a little over $37,000 over the past 3 months. Today, he's going for winning day number 10 out of 13. He's got double your wager, 2,000 star winner number 15 out of 19, the Alabama Crimson Tide, and it's a half-price play of the day. He had a 2,000 star play on Cincinnati against Pittsburgh, of course, on Saturday. Yesterday, his normal top-rated 1,000 star play, he had the Vikings. And this play also matches his 2,000 star winner on Carolina over Tampa Bay in the round in the regular season finale 2 Sundays ago. You got it for half price. Matches his 2,000 star Rose Bowl winner with Stanford humiliating Iowa. And this streak of 200,000 star double your wager plays also includes Clemson's outright upset of Oklahoma with ease in one of your semifinal games. You can get it for half price again simply by using coupon code DOUBLE, DOUBLE, FYI. Craig Davis, coming off a great weekend, had back-to-back 100-dime winners on the Packers and the Chiefs. Today, he's seeking his 9th straight winning day. He has another 100-dime play on the Clemson-Alabama game, and he is on the same side as he goes for winning day number 10 in a row as Trace Adams is as well. So that's your heads up. Now, a little bit of news for you. I found out over the weekend that Craig Davis, a great guy, a guy who has been at this site nearly 7 years. The Super Bowl, day of the Super Bowl, is going to be his final day here at the site. He and his wife have started a family business and has been quite successful. He's got 4 teenage kids, and, handicapping just isn't going to fit into his life anymore. But couldn't ask for a nicer guy. I mean, there are some guys I've talked to you about over the years, which I couldn't wait till they left, or I could show them the door. Not the case with Craig Davis, just a guy who, as a part-time handicapper, but listen, he knows football. You know it as well. Guy used to be former president of fantasyfootball.com years ago, and that's how Steve and I first became acquainted with him. So he will be going, and any of you out there that have long-term packages with Craig Davis, we'll give you the scoop here as you get closer to the Super Bowl and tell you what your options are from customer service, as they always do. But again, kind of a sad day for me, finding out that Craig, one of the stalwarts of this site when it comes to college and pro football, is going to be departing here in less than a month. Okay, guys, before I get to your total selection, listen, as I was handicapping the game, of course, Derrick Henry, God bless him. I still love Derrick Henry because he got that late touchdown against Auburn to get me the cover in the Iron Bowl with that 26-yard run with like a minute and a half to go in that game. I'm thinking to myself, Derrick Henry has been a bull in the backfield for the Crimson Tide this year. I mean, the guy, 300, let me just look up something here for you. 300 and, how many carries does he have? Geez, you think I know this off the top of my head. 359 carries this season. He only had 172 last year, and I thought to myself, this guy better go pro because they're going to burn him out. God forbid, don't play college football players. Don't give them any money, but just use up their future potential earnings by overusing them. To me, when you're carrying the ball 359 times in this day and age that college football is now, where the players are bigger and it's a more strenuous game, that is just kind of crazy. But then I thought, well, how many carries does he have, and how does that compare to other guys' lifetime in college football? So, once again, if you happen to be on Jeopardy, this is going to be the answer that you must be aware of. Who is number 1 college football all-time single-season rushing attempts? Go ahead, think about it. I'll give you 5 seconds. I will not hum the Jeopardy tune, however. That is just beyond my great pay. But I will tell you this, you will never guess it in a million years. Never in a million years. Because I've been following football a long time, and I didn't even remember this guy played. Are you ready? Kevin Smith, Central Florida, 450 carries in 2007. Remember, he had an injury-riddled career with the Detroit Lions, I think it was. 450 carries. Who else is in the top 3? Marcus Allen, 433 carries for USC back in 1981. Different game, however, from when Marcus played. Smaller defenses back in the day. Lorenzo White, number 3 at Michigan State with 419 carries. Troy Davis, remember him out of Iowa State? Never really did much. After that in the pros, 402 carries. And then number 5 is almost as obscure to me as number 1 with Kevin Smith. Number 5, Sean Faulkner, Western Michigan, 1983. I have to be honest with you. I have no clue who the hell Sean Faulkner is, okay? I don't remember Sean Faulkner. But then I'm looking at the list. And again, you've got Derrick Henry at number 28. And I'm looking at some of the other big-name players. Herschel Walker, only 385. And was there more of a workhorse back than Herschel Walker? O.J. Simpson, 383. Le'Veon Bell, 382. Oh, God, who else? Tony Dorsett, 370 for Pittsburgh back in 1976. L.T., LaDainian Tomlinson, former Charger, 369 for TCU back in 2000. So it's amazing. Oh, Ricky Williams, talk about a workhorse back, 361 carries for the Longhorns, tying him with Matt Forte of the Bears for number 24th on the list. All those players more than Derrick Henry. But listen, Derrick Henry's going to get, 25 carries at least tonight, maybe 30. Now, let's talk about this game. The total, I think, is fairly priced in this contest. In fact, let me just see what the latest number here is, looking at the site. 50.5. One of the advantages and one of the reasons that I think that I am leaning toward the over in this game is that because unlike when you had the BCS playoff system, the bowl system, when you get to the championship game in the BCS, the old format, you had teams that had been idle for 5 to 6 weeks. Not the case here. in the college football 14 playoff. You have teams that last played on New Year's Eve. So you had teams that had 3.5 weeks off to recharge a little bit, to refresh and to get ready. But you have to always realize in that 3.5 to 4 weeks period for just about all the normal bowl teams, well, there's finals going on. There's college coaches that are taking time off, not holding practices because they're on the recruiting trail. So often you get some lackluster play, and some teams just don't really show up. You know what I mean? But here you had a case where these two teams have already played. And now you have them playing once again. And you've had all the practices. You've had everything. It's almost no different than a regular season contest. So Alabama put the kibosh on Michigan State. But Michigan State really didn't impress me offensively. Clemson oppresses me offensively, okay? Clemson definitely, I think, will be able to put some points on the board here against Alabama. At the same time, I look at this Clemson defense. Listen, it's not as good as it was a year ago because when you lose a half a dozen starters and have two of those guys be first-round picks in the NFL draft, how can you possibly be as good? So Alabama's going to put some points on the board as well. Now, a lot of you out there are saying, oh, Al, the Crimson Tide, number 3 in the nation in scoring defense, only gave up 13-point-something points a game. Yeah, okay, let me ask you this. What happened to them in week number 3 against Mississippi? Yeah, their only loss, Chad Kelly, 370 yards, I think, for Mississippi and 3 touchdown passes. And Mississippi, I think, put 43 points on the board. I think it was like a 43-37 game. What happened to that Tide defense then? It's the same unit that's playing now, right? So I think you have the potential tonight to have another high-scoring game, much like you had last year with Ohio State and Oregon. Will it be that high of a scoring game? No, but we're looking at 50 points. I mean, I could easily see this be a 34-17 game. I can see this be a 28-24 game. You know, I think it can run the gamut there. And I do believe that somewhere around 52, 53 points is what you're going to finish on for your total. So I'm going to go over in this contest. That'll do it. Best of luck to you guys. Talk to you again tomorrow when it's back to basketball. Little respite until we get to the NFL playoffs. And thankfully, we will not be talking about Deshaun Jackson and the Redskins next weekend. Good luck, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.